Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Brian Page. I'm just doing another recording here for my class, my anatomy class. So I'm halfway through, so that's really awesome. Just took the midterm, did pretty well. So this video recording is on clinical anatomy. So here's my little piece of paper as far as my notes. It says my name, and today is August 8th, 2021. Today I'm going to talk about a body system that I particularly like, and talk about the specialties as far as what doctor specializes in that system and what doctor does surgery for that system. I'm going to talk about the organ in the system and talk about different locations in that organ, in particular, five landmarks on that organ, and talk about the function, the main function of that organ. So let's get started. So, as I stated before, I'm a clinical psychologist, so I wouldn't pick anything else but the nervous system as being my favorite system of the body. So, the specialty or the doctor that specializes in the nervous system is a neurologist. So they look at the functioning of the brain in addition to the function of the spine and the peripheral nerves, etc. So the person that does surgery are neurosurgeons. They also have certain specialties like a spinal surgeon. We're actually watching, my wife and I, a documentary called Doctor Death. It's about a spinal surgeon who actually botches some surgeries and gets caught. So, um, also the psychologist, we and the psychiatrist, we actually treat disorders of the brain and the mind. And actually, research shows that psychotherapy with somebody actually has anatomical changes of the brain. So, I would have to include clinical psychologists in addition to psychiatrists as individuals who treat the mind, but it really treat the brain as well. So, um, the organ, the main organ of the nervous system is obviously the brain. So, being a psychologist, I have things like this laying around inside the criminal mind. Just pick this up at the grocery store, and here's the brain right here. So, it's lies obviously in the superior part of the body, the top of the body, and it's in the cavity, the dorsal cavity or the cranial cavity up here. There's five different lobes of the brain. So there's the frontal lobe. That's kind of in the front here. Into that. There's the temporal lobe right here above the ear, right this way. Opposite. Up here, there's the parietal lobe, so it falls kind of up here. And on the back, or the posterior part of the brain, there's the occipital lobe, so it's on the back of the brain here. So talking about the anterior part of the brain, the really front anterior part is the prefrontal cortex, and in particular, there's the dorsal lateral. So the dorsal is like the top and the back. It's the dorsal side. So dorsal lateral prefrontal cortex, it really focuses on executive functioning, reasoning, etc. As far as the prefrontal cortex, there's also the ventral medial. So ventral is like below the front, underneath, and medial in the middle, prefrontal cortex, and that really focuses on personality. It really makes you who you are, in addition to emotions. The ventral medial prefrontal cortex really has an impact on our emotions. So there's actually a famous case of Phineas Gage who had a railroad spike blasted through his frontal cortex, orbital frontal, or in other words, ventral medial cortex, and actually it changed his personality, who he was. He was this laid back type of dude, and then after that happened, he was very impulsive, aggressive, not a very nice guy to get along with. So obviously, the functioning of the brain is multifaceted. It's really um, to help us think, to process information, to problem solve, to react and to respond as far as reflexes. And it's the main processing system of the central nervous system, which corresponds to all of our body. It makes us who we are. So, talked about my favorite system being the nervous system. The specialties being the neurologists, the neurosurgeons, and psychologists, psychiatrists. Talked about the brain, the different locations, some landmarks I talked about, and also the main functioning. So hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.